a guest on our show today is someone who I personally look up to. I met her as her student in an acting class in early 2019, where I felt nothing but inspired, entertained, and welcomed by her leadership. She has a very engaging way of teaching acting, and she makes people feel comfortable in their own skin, and she certainly brings out the creativity and talent out of people. So please welcome Chanella Macri.
Oh, yeah, that was so lovely. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's good?
We're good today. It's actually a beautiful day, I have to say. 18
It's super
degrees.
lovely. Oh, it's balmy.
How are you?
I'm good. It's a lovely day, so I've just been like sitting outside, like soaking in the rays, trying to get some of that vitamin D. I don't know, trying to get it in there. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. We'll start off with Chanella. What type of creative are you? I introduced you as an actor, but I know you do many other things as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. I am primarily an actor. That's what I'm trained in, I guess. Oh, my goodness. My cat, I'm sorry. He's getting overexcited. But I'm also a writer. I'm a teacher. I facilitate acting.
Yeah.
And I am a theatre maker. So that kind of encompasses directing and making from the ground up and acting and writing. So I primarily work in theatre.
Amazing. Do you have a preference of all of those things and why?
I feel like up until really recently it would have been like a straight actor, but writing has kind of like just stolen my heart a little bit. I don't know. There's something about writing and being able to create your own pieces and talk about what you want to talk about, give voice to who you want to give voice to. That is kind of exciting to me. But yeah, I guess acting, she's still good. She's still there for us, you know.
Yeah. I was going to say, because you've written a lot, and what's your creative process behind writing for a show or for a monologue or whatever it is?
Yeah, for sure. I think mine is fairly. I don't know, because I don't know if it's what am I trying to say, fairly typical, but I guess I certainly come at it from an acting perspective, which means that I write constantly.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, whatever is interesting me, whatever I want to sort of look into, whatever voice I kind of want to hear, and sort of like as I just like keep on writing, every now and again something comes up where I'm like, I got to look into that, and so I got to see what's goody.
And do you have a phone handy for that, or do you have a journal, like a book that you always have?
I have a book, mainly because I was using my phone, but there was like 50 million separate notes, and I was like, I can't find what I need when I need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like certainly, like I literally have a book on hand that's with me at all times, like with my diary, or it's just sitting in my house somewhere. I take time to write. I just write to write, because I certainly was not trained in writing, so I just write for the love of writing, find what's interesting to me, follow that, and I get really good at being not self-conscious about my writing, so I show it to anybody. I'm like, look, read this. Can you read this for me? Read this. I need you to tell me what you think about this.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of my process, a lot of trust in other people, and following what I want to write and being like, this might not look like anything to anybody, but I need to write this right now, so it's about to come out.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Beautiful. No, that's amazing. And you're constantly inspired by your environment, the people around you, what you're going through perhaps.
Yeah, I think certainly, like like all artistic expressions, I feel like they are about like connecting with yourself, maybe understanding yourself a little bit better, understanding the people around you, understanding what's going on in the world around you. So a lot of my writing centers around who I am, like I think, and things I'm trying to work through. So a lot of my writing centers around like being a person of color in white Australia, centers around being a big person, like living in a big body, centers around family and loss and mental health and things like that. They might not all be super evident when you read the work, but it's what's kind of all behind the writing. It's me trying to figure stuff out in a creative form. Yeah.
Beautiful. And what were you working on creatively in the lead up to quarantine? Before it came and ruined it all.
Before Auntie Rona came to town.
Or not.
That's a good bit. No. I think it was really interesting actually, but in the lead up, I had a few things that were like simmering in terms of writing, some things I wanted to look into, but most of my time was being taken up by acting shows that I was working on. So that's primarily what I do when we're in normal working hours. Yeah. So I was in the middle of doing a show in Perth and doing a show in Melbourne here.
Right.
So I was in full acting mode, actually. Trying to work out some characters is what I was working on.
Yeah, so that means, so I'm guessing, because also part of this conversation is how the shutting down of the entertainment industry has impacted creatives to create. So I'm guessing that was all put to a stop.
Yeah, it actually, for sure. It happened at a bit of an odd time for me because I was in Perth on a job and I was taking a few days off a job in Melbourne to be in Perth doing this other job.
Right.
And that was sort of when everything was really going down. There was a lot of talk about it. And so in that 1 week that I was in Perth, from the beginning of the week, I was like, I think we're about to hear that everything's being cancelled for the year. And so as an actor who works with an agent and then also like freelancers in terms of just getting work coming through me and my agent. Yeah. I was like, had work up until sort of early next year. And then sort of when when COVID-19 really hit and social isolation really hit, within about a week, it's all gone. So, which again is like, it's really interesting. Like it's a really strange thing to happen sort of out of the blue, just to be like, this is all my like work and income and stability for about a year and
for a long time as well. Yeah.
Is sort of, is wiped clean. But also, it was kind of happening worldwide. So there was the real thing of like, well, that's happening and that's what it is. And it was more about like, where's the family? Like, is everybody okay? What are we going to be doing? How are we going to be sitting tight? And yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So did that have any sort of emotional impact on you? Was it disheartening, or I'm sure it was, but did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, it was super, I think, and I think a lot of people like in the arts industry, but also outside of the arts industry, can really identify with the thing about stability being taken from underneath your feet. And so I think the real sort of like strain came in terms of being like, I don't know how I'm going to support me, don't know how I'm going to support my fam, like don't know how I'm going to move through this next amount of time. And that was really like, and I think it's the thing about being a creative or working in any industry, where it's like when that is what's taking up your mind and when uncertainty is all that's there, it's really tricky to function.
Yeah.
And, also I think for, a lot of creatives, the way that we move through a lot of things and make sense of a lot of things is by creating. And that sort of being wiped clean was super disorientating, I think. And it took me about like a few weeks to really like find my feet in that and be like...
weeks. And there was almost nothing. It was almost hard to make sense of something, you know what I mean? Because we just didn't have the certainty.
There was just nothing.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think that was the real thing of everyone being like, there was no stability to be found because things were changing so rapidly. So it was like, we can't go outside, work's being cut. And it's like, I think it was really destabilizing in that way, really confusing and really I think a lot of our lives is very quick. It's like, I was like working on 2 different jobs and other things and then nothing. And I was just like, never in my life have I come to a complete standstill, like since I was a kid. Like,
life's it also made me realize how life's pace was actually really fast. And even to hear that you had taken a break from work to go to work.
I was like, we'll take a little hiatus to go do some more work.
And then once the stability kind of, once the certainty started to come, we started to get sorry, a bit more information on what was happening, and people started to become a bit more comfortable in the situation. Did your creativity sort of take off a little bit?
Yeah, and like in a big way. I think there's a big thing with creatives at the moment, which is like the intense pressure because nothing is going on to create. And I totally get that. But for me, I am a person of of stillness and space. So for me, once I like found my feet, it's been super. It has been a super creative space, and for me, I think, in terms of just having that space and having that time and that energy and the attention and the stopping of all the stuff going on in the background to just be like, ooh, grind to a halt. What am I interested in here? And so, different threads of work picked back up, and a lot of people came knocking with creative things. Like, I really want to do something. And now we've got the time. Do you want to do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the big thing for me was just taking the time to be like, aha. And so out of this time, I think maybe 2 or 3 really projects that like really have my heart sort of emerged, because I had the time and the space to think about them and like really create a foundation to move forward with. I mean, it took a minute, but I think it really did blossom out of that in the last few weeks, month or so.
Beautiful. Maybe I would like to wrap up with one last question, which would be, what is one of those projects that has your heart right now? And do you want to explain what that is?
All right. Okay. All right. Let her be quick on this one, because it's got so much in my heart that I start to like go for. It is, so, I mean, you know of this, but Samuel Obama-Dobsky and Ez Eldeng created The Last Supper, which was a gangster like short film. And Sammy, super producer, super actor, super bad man, and a good friend, was at me for a while to kind of be like, let's adapt this, let's move this, like there was a response to this, our people are feeling this. So am I allowed to be saying this? I don't know. Will he be angry at me? I'm not sure. It doesn't matter.
He said he's an open book. I've spoken.
Yeah, that's true though. I feel like he is an open book. So we have started to sort of move from that, adapt from that, and we're working, oh my God, I'm so excited. We're working on a mini series following Black and brown youths in Australia, in a sort of gangland setting, going through their lives like a la very, very like, I guess, Top Boy or The Wire. And all black, all brown. My heart is singing about this one. I think that's all I'm going to say without, I don't know, Sammy's going to be on the phone being like, what's goody? What did you say? That's what it is.
Yeah, no, that was a good, I don't think you'll get into any trouble with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're good. No, that is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Chanella. I really appreciate this. This was a great chat. Yeah, and
it was a lovely chat.
It was. You really do inspire me. I truly mean that. Keep creating. And
Likewise.
I just want like this to all be over so I can come back to your classes.
I know.
And we can do those improvisation classes.
Be in the room really together. And walk, sit.
Breathing exercises and everything.
That's right.
Anyways, take care. Have a good day. Enjoy the sun. Thank you so much. All right, that was Chanella Macri. She is an actor and a writer, and this is Lydia Tesema on BRIMBANK Live on Live FM.